Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otaku Experience over here on the Burnett Network. I'm, of course, your host, Israel. So, first things first, couple things. Rascal Does Not Dream light novel series has officially ended after over 10 years. Now, I've never been someone who's really read or watched the Rascal stuff. I think I've seen a couple episodes of Bunny Girl Senpai because my brother was watching it and I popped in and I was like, oh, what's this? And then never watched it after that. Never read the books or anything like that. So I do know that this is a very big franchise and that a lot of people do care about this. And so a lot of people are definitely going to feel the effect of this. And even as someone who hasn't read it, I mean, there's so much stuff I haven't read this year that's ended. Like it's crazy how much stuff has ended this year. But anyway, Rascal Does Not Dream light novel series, commonly referred to as blah, 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 has officially ended over 10 years since starting in April 2014. The final volume, Not Dream of Dear Friend, was released on October 10th, and I guess that's the cover. 15 volumes in a little more than 10 years, and then talks about all the shows and the movies that have aired. And so there's that little announcement. So the fall 2024 anime season has officially begun. It began, depending on how you're looking at it, this week or last week. There were a few shows that started last week, but this week was the first real week where there was like an entire week of every day a new show, at least as far as I could tell, at least what affected me. So I want to go over my impressions on what I saw, and I think that should be pretty fun. So I just have my anime list open here, and we're just going to go in order of however my anime list decided to rank these. I think these are in order of score. Anyway, so Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War. So I think that Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War so far, in my estimation, as it continues going, I think it's no longer my favorite arc. I think it was for the first part and about halfway through the second arc, it was like definitely there. Towards the end of the second arc, it was like maybe it's it's a toss up between this and another arc. And now this, I think it's officially now my second favorite arc, but maybe it can claw its way back up. It's still a lot of fun, but I don't know. I guess I'm not as into it as I was in that other arc, but still overall I'm enjoying it. Episode 2 came out today when I'm filming this. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's crazy how big this show gets, and it just keeps topping itself. Like, I'm literally watching this episode and I'm like, what are they going to do? How are they going to get out of this conundrum? Like, I'm not going to spoil it for those of you guys who haven't seen it, but I was like, the only way they're really going to do this is if they start time traveling or something. Either that or like they're going to introduce a new ability that I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm just along for the ride. Then we have ReZero Starting Life in Another World Season 3. Now, if you guys know me and you've been watching my channel for a while, or you've heard me mention ReZero on the Otaku Experience, I really liked the first season of ReZero. I really liked the first part of the second season of ReZero, and then the second part of the second season of ReZero, let's just say it lost a lot of its punch, I guess I would say. If you want to hear my full thoughts on that, you can listen to my winter 2021 seasonal review on my channel. But essentially, my thoughts were that a lot of the stuff was telegraphed, and there wasn't a lot of subtlety in what they were doing with the character arcs, like what they were doing with Amelia's arc and things like that. That it just kind of, I felt like it was just beating me over the head with it, that by the time it finally got to the reveal, I was like, well, yeah, I mean, what else could... Like, it kind of lost that. But I will say this, Season 3, and I'm 2 episodes in, there was the 90-minute finale, and then a regular length episode that aired this week. I'm really back on it again. Like, I watched this second episode and I was like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm excited. I'm waiting for the next episode. I have no idea what is going to happen. And that's where they got me on it. And so maybe it's because with season 2, well, no, I binged season 1 as well. I was going to say with season 2, maybe it's because I binged it that it felt that way. But I binged season 1 as well. So maybe it was just like something in that arc. But I know a lot of people love ReZero season 2 and think that was like one of the best anime they've ever seen. So, who am I to judge? But if season 3 continues as it's been going, I think we're in store for, at least for me, a really, really good season of ReZero. And I'm excited to see where it goes with that. Then, Dawn to Dawn, you guys know how I feel, but I guess if you're new, I'll give you my thoughts. I saw the first 3 episodes in theaters, like 4 weeks ago or so, like the beginning of September. And, I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, a great production, a great everything. Essentially, the opening, I think, is the best opening of the year. And everything was about what I had read in the manga, except for the 3rd episode, which got past that point that I had read in the manga. So a lot of my thoughts are about like the same as they were when the anime adaptation got announced, because I've essentially only seen all of that stuff. I'm excited for episode 4, which airs in like 2 weeks. So it's criminal what they're making me wait for. It's ridiculous, but. So that's Dawn to Dawn. If you want my full thoughts, you can go listen to that episode of the Otaku Experience. I think it was like a month ago or something. Then there's this one, which was Blue Box. So Blue Box, this is the sports, I guess, rom-com thing. I don't know if it's a rom-com. The tone it's not like a slapstick, haha. Like, I mean, there's jokes in it, but I think it's more just like a romantic drama with sports. So, and this one, you guys know me. This is my kryptonite with anime. This is my guilty pleasure. And like it, I grab like 5 of these every season. Like I can't help it. And this one is really, really cute. The production is amazing. Telecom Animation Film has done an amazing job. They keep taunting me because I'll open up my Annie list, I'll open up my Annie list just to see like, what is airing, what I missed. And I'm always like, oh, a new episode of Blue Box. And then it's like, oh, wait, that's the Netflix thing where it's airing 1 week ahead in Japan and we're a week behind over here. So there's not an extra episode for me to watch. I just have to wait another week. But anyway, this is another one, like with ReZero, that I'm like counting down the days to each episode because I think this one is really cute. I did get a little antsy and I was like, I can't wait to see how long this is going to take. So I looked up the chapter that, it's not a spoiler. Everybody knows at some point someone's going to confess to somebody else. So I went to the chapter that was in the manga and I read it. And okay, so I'm satisfied. Now I can just enjoy the anime without anticipating whether or not anything's going to happen. So there's that. But that's one of the ones I'm really enjoying for obvious reasons. Blue Lock season 2, I haven't started simply because I'm not caught up. I didn't finish the first season. I planned to, I just didn't. And so I'm just not caught up on that. So I can't watch it yet. Ranma 1.5 is one that I was a little unsure about. I didn't know if it was really going to be for me. With the leaks and everything and people saying that it looked good. We know that MAPPA was working on it, and MAPPA, putting their production in-house stuff aside, their productions always end up with an amazing looking and sounding and everything in the production aspect amazing in terms of anime. And this one is no different. The animation's amazing, but also I had never read the manga or seen the original show, and so this is my first time experiencing the story, and I think it's really funny. When I watch anime, I usually read the synopsis like once while I'm picking out what shows I'm going to watch, and then I watch the show like a few weeks later, and so all the synopsis become a blur, and so I kind of forget what each show is about before I watch it. And the same thing happened with this, so I got to re-experience kind of the twist in it, and so that was a lot of fun. I think it's really funny, and there's another one that I'm counting down the days to, just because I think this is so much fun. Something that you're going to notice is I think that this season is overall, at least so far, a lot stronger than Summer. And I think a lot of people acknowledge that Summer was a weaker anime season. So then we had Tower of God season 2, part 2, which I guess they have it on this like this on my anime list. But, if you go to Annie list, it's all one season. Like this is just episode 15, whereas on Mal it's on episode 1. But anyway, so that Tower of God's continuing. Everybody kind of turned on the first part of season 2. Like, as you can see, the score is in the gutter, at least by my anime list standards. But this second season, I mean, granted, only one episode has been out, but it seems like they're getting right into the action. We're into this workshop battle arc, and we'll see where it goes. I think it's official that, I mean, everybody's going to be like, obviously Israel, but it's really starting to like bother me and be really noticeable. And that is the massive decrease in production quality from the first season. And it seems like it's just continuing to get worse. And so hopefully, maybe they're saving it for like a big fight later on in this arc, but we'll see where it goes. Overall, I'm still enjoying the ride, but I hope that continuous streak of the stuff, the production quality decreasing stops. Then Uzumaki, and this is the one that is kind of in the most controversy so far, maybe the one that's being talked about the most for bad reasons. And that's because the second episode came out on Sunday. By the time this episode of the show comes out, the third episode of Uzumaki may or may not have been out yet. But as far as I'm aware, based on when I'm filming this, only episode 2 has come out. And it, you guys know what I'm about to say. I'm trying to sugarcoat it, but like say it in like the nicest way possible. It looks bad. Okay. The animation decreased massively. And I don't know what that's about. I mean, I do, but I don't. So essentially we have a quote here from the producer, the executive producer, saying like kind of what happened. Because a lot of people were like, including me, were like, why does this second episode look so bad after the first season looked so good? I don't know. It's just weird. So he said, "It's fine. We knew this would happen." DeMarco said in a series of deleted posts, I can't talk about what went down, but we were screwed over, and the options were A, not finish and air nothing and call it a loss, B, just finish and air episode 1 and leave it incomplete, or C, run all 4, warts and all. Out of respect for the hard work, we chose C. After waiting so long, it makes sense people would be mad. Unfortunately, I can't tell them who to blame it on, but someone is definitely at fault here, and we all just had to do our best when things imploded. Maybe others would have had different choices. We did the best we could with what we had." So from what I know, this episode essentially in its entirety was outsourced to, I believe, a Chinese studio. Here. So this is the main staff for episode 1 versus episode 2. So episode 1 has, this staff. In episode 2, the staff is completely different. At least, and so that's something that people are being like, well, I guess it's not completely different. It looks similar. But if you go to Wikipedia and look up the Uzumaki anime on Wikipedia, it's you can see in like its breakdown of the episodes, like the massive change in the what am I trying to say? In the studios, in the production. So it looks like that's what he's saying. Like they were forced to outsource it for something. I don't know what the reason is. He doesn't go into it, but and then I guess they knew it didn't look good, but they had to release it anyway. So. I mean, I guess I would say, well, you're one of the producers, granted an executive producer, so you don't have as much power as a straight up producer, but still, like, don't you have some level of authority over this? But hopefully episode 3 maybe is under a different studio and it looks at least more like season 1, or more like episode 1 than the other episode did. But, man, yeah. Like what a drop off. But other than that, I mean, story wise, it's based on the manga of the same name by Junji Ito. Story wise, I mean, it's freaking me out. It makes me like itch all over every episode. So I guess that's a good thing. But, I guess with 4 episodes, especially, and it was announced like last year, I guess we all just assumed it would have like this amazing high quality, look to it, and it did in the first episode, but that kind of dropped off. So hopefully the third episode looks a lot better. I guess we'll know for you guys watching this episode of the Otaku Experience, you'll probably know tonight. I'll know tomorrow. So I guess we'll see where that goes. But then after that, we have the last 3 I haven't started yet. Gun Gale Online, like Blue Lock, I'm not caught up. Demon Lord 2099 hasn't started yet, and neither has Shangri-La Frontier. So overall, those are the shows that I've been keeping up with in the fall season so far. Like I said, I think it's a much stronger season than in summer, at least so far, and hopefully that strength continues. But yeah, we'll see where it goes, and I'll keep y'all updated with my thoughts as each week progresses. But I'll tell you whose thoughts we already have about these past weeks, and that is the Anime Trending audience rankings. So they have their final audience rankings for summer 2024, and they have their first week of, they have their overall ranking. You know how they do like their seasonal awards, and then the winners of that get nominated for Anime of the Year. Anyway, so first they did this. This was their week 1. At number 1 was Maykind, going up 2 spots. Days of My Stepsister went down 1 spot to number 2. Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian spent 3 weeks at number 3. Oshinoko, 2 weeks at number 4. Wistoria, up 1 spot to number 5. Pseudo Harem, down 1 spot to number 6. 2.5 Dimensional Seduction went up 1 spot to number 7. The Elusive Samurai is a re-entry at number 8. Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary, 2 weeks at number 9. And Dear Friend Nokotan is a re-entry into the top 10. And then the top 10 anime of the season overall, at number 1 was Maykind. As you can see, like the top 3 are all a neck and neck race. Even, I guess you could throw in Oshinoko as well. Like this is a really tight race. But Maykind was at number 1. Days of My Stepsister at number 2. Alia at number 3. Oshinoko at number 4. And Wistoria qualifies for their wild card round at the end of the year, where they'll have 4 anime from the, that didn't place in the top 4, as well as I think some shows that don't air seasonally. And then they all get put in a wild card aspect or round, and then one of those gets nominated, I think, for Anime of the Year. But anyway, we'll see. One thing is that I think we should cut out... Come on, guys. We should cut out Days of My Stepsister, cut out Alia, and let's put Nokotan and Shoshimin up in there. Come on. Come on. No. Come on. Come on, guys. We got Peak Fiction at number 9 here, and it's at number 9. Disgraceful. But then we have the Anime Corner rankings, and I think the same thing. They have their overall ranking of the season for summer, and then they have the first 2 weeks of fall, because I've missed a couple weeks here with the show. So we'll start with summer. This is their overall ranking, with Days of My Stepsister at number 1 with almost 8% of the vote. Losing Heroines at number 2, Oshinoko at number 3, Alia at number 4, Fairy Tail at number 5, Wistoria at number 6, No Longer Allowed in Another World at number 7, Pseudo Harem at number 8, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction at number 9, and The Elusive Samurai at number 10. The first week of fall 2024 looked like this, with ReZero at number 1, Dandadan at number 2, Blue Box at number 3, Tying the Knot with Amagami Sister at number 4, Uzumaki at number 5, I'll Become a Villainess, Who Goes Down in History at number 6, 365 Days to the Wedding at number 7, Loner Life in Another World at number 8, As a Reincarnated Aristocrat, I'll Use My Appraisal Skill to Rise in the World Season 2 at number 9, and Let This Grieving Soul Retire. And they were all new entries into the top 10. Then they shifted this week with some new anime entering into the field, and the other ones bouncing around. So at number 1 was Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, and that was a new entry. ReZero bumped down to number 2. Blue Box stayed at the same rank at number 3. Dandadan went down 2 spots to number 4. Blue Lock Season 2 is a new entry at number 5. Amagami Sister went down 2 spots to number 6. Miss Servant is a new entry. 365 is down 1 spot to number 8. Danmachi New Season is a new entry at number 9. And Dimensional Seduction went up 3 spots to number 10. So those are all of those. And then we have the Japanese animation rankings. If you guys don't know, these are from the Kanto region, and they use this to decipher what most people in Japan are probably watching. And so at number 1, we have, I don't care about all these. My Hero Academia Season 7 got a 3.4% household rating. One Piece got a 2.5% percent household rating. And the rest of these I don't care about because they're all children's programming. And so those are all of the stuff for this past week. So on Monday this week, I finally had the chance to see a film that I was super anticipated for all year, just because, number 1, I heard great things about it, and also number 2, from what I've seen from the author, I've really enjoyed. But I finally had the chance to go see the Look Back film. And I'll just say this, it's great. Y'all already know that. You know it's great. I will say this, I did make a full review on my main channel, King Tannic, if you guys want to go check that out. I uploaded it the day I'm filming this. And so it's right there. Look Back, an incomplete masterpiece. You guys can go check that out. Appreciate it. So you can hear my full thoughts there. I'll keep it a little more spoiler-free over here and a little more vague. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it in the moment, and then the more I thought about it, and the questions it asks, and the journey the characters go on, and doing research about Tatsuki Fujimoto, the author of the manga, I really began to appreciate it more and more and more, to the point that, like that video said, I think it is an incomplete masterpiece. What does that mean? You'll have to go watch my video to find out. But yeah, I mean, the animation was great. Studio Durian did a fantastic job. Studio Durian, by the way, I had never heard of them, by the way. They apparently have only done like shorts up until now, but they killed it. Whoever decided that they would do it is like, they did great. The director, Kiyotaka Oshiyama, did great. He animated most of the movie himself. And the 2 leads, Kyomoto and Fujino, played by Yoshida and Kawai, also were fantastic. The biggest problem I have with this movie is that I was hungry during it, where I had SpaghettiOs before I went to the theater, and it wasn't enough. So about 40 minutes in, if you guys don't know the story of Look Back, I'll just say about 40 minutes in, something happens where the tone of the movie kind of changes and it gets really quiet, like no music, nothing. Like you could hear the movie next door playing. And it was in that moment that I realized just how hungry I was. And I realized that my stomach was going to growl any minute. And so I flexed my stomach for about 20 minutes, essentially throughout the end of the movie. But I will say there were a couple moments where it did a couple sounds squeaked out where it was like, and I was just like, 2 people next to me. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I'm having social anxiety. It's crazy. But anyway, so I really, really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. One of my favorite movies of the year. I definitely see what people mean when they were like, this is the best Tatsuki Fujimoto adaptation. I still thought Chainsaw Man was a good adaptation. Granted, I haven't read the manga, but from everything I have seen, and I thought the show, everybody liked the show. And then like everybody watched it, and then suddenly everybody was like, blah, blah, blah. I guess Tatsuki Fujimoto has said some stuff about it being like, or I guess it's the silence, he said. Like he talked about Look Back being like this great adaptation of his work, and he didn't mention Chainsaw Man at all. And I think people were like, oh my gosh, he hates Chainsaw Man. And so I don't know if that's true. I like both, but I definitely, Look Back taught me a lot more about Fujimoto and made me a lot more interested to check out the rest of his work. At my public library, they have a manga section, and I placed a hold for Look Back, and I'm going to be getting that so I can read the manga. And anyway, so if you want to hear my full thoughts, you can go and check out my video on my main channel. But the box office of the film is something I also want to talk about because that's what we do here. So this is on Anime News Network, where they say the Numbers website estimates that the anime film of Chainsaw Man creator Tatsuki Fujimoto's look-back one-shot manga earned about $688,000 at the U.S. box office over the weekend. The film screened across 535 theaters, which, if you guys don't know, is a very, very, very limited release. A wide release, I believe, is considered like 2,000 theaters or more, and a semi-wide release is like 1,000 theaters. But anything less than that, and that's like a limited release. Like that's like, this wasn't playing at the Regal that I go to. I had to go somewhere else that I don't have a membership to, and I had to buy a ticket rather than getting my free Regal Unlimited ticket. It was ridiculous. Box Office Mojo reports the film ranked number 25 at the U.S. box office after the initial screenings. So that, remember, it released, I believe, the week before. It released in down here, New York and Los Angeles on October 4th. And then it opened wide in North America. And they actually added screenings this week. This weekend it's playing. And they had a lot of showtime. So I want to see how it does. I want to see if it opens in any more theaters. I want to see just how it performs. If people heard the word of mouth. I told my sister that she should definitely go see it, send her the trailer and stuff. And if you guys have a chance, definitely go see it. It's really good. And hopefully this box office number goes up. Maybe that'd be cool, right? I don't know. I don't know if it's opening in more theaters. Maybe it's even in less theaters. Maybe it's in like 100 theaters. That's crazy. That's crazy, but there's that, I guess. The Berserk fan anime we've been talking about for a while. We were excited about it, and then something sad happened where Hakusensha decided to go cry in their corner and make it everybody's business, and they were like, oh no, this really anticipated and looks really well made anime adaptation of Berserk wasn't made by us. Oh no. Even though it's like a fan project, people might get confused and think this is an official thing. Blah. And so we were all scared that like they would maybe take legal action against Studio Eclypse. And Studio Eclypse being the fan anime studio that's doing it, and that Studio Eclypse would then cancel the project. And we even saw that with another fan project of Berserk, where I believe they animated manga panels on their channel. Like they would just put the manga panel in motion or something and color it. And, they even had to delete their channel after Hakusensha cried in the corner. And so we all thought that, it was a given that eventually Berserk, the Black Swordsman, would just go away and be that like myth that we all talked about in 2024. But they've actually made a statement that it's not canceled, and they're actually planning on moving forward with it in a really interesting way. So down here is their statement from Studio Eclypse, where they say, we'd like to address some of your concerns regarding the recent statements. We did not receive any type of formal cease and desist, takedown request, or letter asking us to stop the project. After a lot of consideration, we have decided to move forward and establish communication with the IP holders, that being Hakusensha. Supported by a great company within the industry, we're working to get a chance to adapt this arc of the story the fans deserve as an official studio next year. That's a big deal. This has led to the voluntary decision of taking down our Black Swordsman videos for the time being until the situation is resolved. During this period, we will continue working on pre-production materials and animation tests to be able to show our vision for the project to them. We will also be unpublishing our Patreon page for the time being as a sign of respect to our overseas viewers and good faith for this project to come to life in the right way. For many years, all of our fan projects have been self-funded and always intended for free release to the public. We decided to accept donations after a large number of the community asked for a way to support. This ended up helping us cover a lot of the background art cleanup and compositing costs. All other stages were only possible by sheer passion and sleepless nights from our group of friends and animators. We will now go back to our roots and continue to fully self-fund our fan projects moving forward. Thanks to all of our supporters for sticking with us. Without you, the quality that we were able to achieve as just a group of fans in less than a year would have been close to impossible. A strong, united community can achieve the unthinkable. We will keep struggling. And so essentially they have just said that they're going to reach out to Hakusensha and be like, hey, try to shake the hand that of the person crying in the corner, like, hey, what if we work together on this? And then, you can get some of the credit, we'll get some of the credit. Maybe if it gets monetized, we'll give you a large portion of the money. They said they were planning on releasing it for free, so maybe they'll just be like, yeah, we weren't gonna monetize it, but I guess with Hakusensha here, we will monetize it and give them all the profits. Maybe a way to incentivize them to do it. I don't know if Hakusensha is gonna do this. We'll see. They said they want to make it as an official studio next year, which for those of you guys, that would make this an official Bleach anime. Like, that would put it on my anime list. That would put it everywhere. It would suddenly like start being recognized. Like, if Hakusensha recognizes them and works with them, this would become an official adaptation, which is the crazy part. Like, I love how ballsy this is. I don't know how likely this is, though. Now, they did say that they have not received a formal cease and desist. So maybe that means if Hakusensha says no, they don't want to, work on it with them or make them an official studio with it, that they'll still continue to move forward with it as they did until Hakusensha gives them a formal cease and desist. Or if Hakusensha just says no, that they'll just stop anyway. So I don't know what that means, but I don't know. Like, what? I think this would be pretty cool. And I think if Hakusensha decides to say no to this, I think that is something that they will deal with probably for a few years. I don't know if they want to deal with that. I don't know if they care about dealing with that, or what. But I think it is something that they'll have to deal with for a few years at least. And so I don't know. For the sake of the anime community, Hakusensha, please work with them. This could be cool. This could be something like history making in the anime community. I don't know. That would just be insane. But we'll see. I don't, like I said, I don't know how likely that is, but, cause I've never heard of anything like this before, and maybe something like this has happened before and you guys can tell me about it, but I've never heard of anything like this before. And I think that that's crazy. So, Hi Anime, Kiss Anime, and other piracy sites. We've been talking about a massive deal of a massive amount of anime piracy sites being taken down. Finally, having legal action taken against them by the studios, whether those are inappropriate, like adult anime sites, or just regular piracy sites. They've been taking legal action against them. Same with leakers. They're really cracking down on this stuff. And it looks like even more are on the cutting room floor, like the anime I mentioned at the beginning. So Hi Anime, Kiss Anime, and more piracy sites are under major threat following U.S. court subpoenas. Following the shutdown of its predecessor, AniWatch, earlier this year, the MPA is now seeking the identities behind the world's most popular anime piracy site, Hi Anime, through a new U.S. court subpoena. Last week, the MPA, the Motion Picture Association of America, they're the ones that give out like the film ratings. So like, if it's like rated PG-13 or rated R, that's from the MPA. Requested that a Californian federal court issue several subpoenas for customers of Cloudflare and the Tonic Domain Registry. Via Torrent Freak, these customers included the most popular anime piracy site in the world, HiAnime.to, which boasted a massive 302 million total visits in the last month. The subpoena seeks to learn any identifying information on Hi Anime's operators, including names, IP addresses, payment info, and more. Hi Anime isn't the only anime site joined by Anime's site listed, joined by Anime Soft FR. I almost said for real. With 33.9 million visits in the last month. Anime Saturn, 15.7 million, Kiss Anime, 5.7 million, and several other sites associated with Hi Anime, including Hi Anime NZ, and smaller sites like Hi Anime NZ and Hi Anime SX. As Hi Anime CDN content delivery service, Cloudflare replicates its infringing content across the servers globally, granting end users faster access. So, and then the rest talks about all that. So I think what's interesting is that, like, I know they said, like, they do this, globally. Like, it says their Cloudflare replicates its infringing content across servers globally. So this is a global site, which is how they gain such massive numbers. And I don't know what the numbers were before all of this happened, but my thought is that High Anime's numbers were not this high 2 months ago. They're only this high because those other piracy sites have been taken down. And if High Anime gets taken down, which it probably will, then all that traffic is just going to go somewhere else. It's going to go to another anime piracy site. And then we'll talk about it all again and how that has this massive number of monthly visits and stuff like that. You guys know what my thoughts are on anime piracy sites. I'm not a fan of piracy as a general rule. I understand why some people do it for fair reason, and I understand why some people do it for not a good reason, just because they don't want to pay. And we've talked about before, like, ideas to help the anime industry combat this, which isn't just to shut them down, because one will always pop back up. The best way is to try to get the traffic coming to the legal ways to get anime. We've talked about different ideas for that. I've said some ideas and you've gone, no, Israel, that's stupid. We should do this instead. And I go, well, okay, you're probably right that my idea was stupid. So the usual banter. But so we've talked about all of that before. We'll see what happens with this. Like I said, if I had to wager, I think that these sites are probably most likely going to get taken down. And then, we'll be talking about this again next month with some other piracy site, just because it's like they keep kicking the can. They're like, aha, we'll kick the can off of this step. And then, like, it goes down to the step below and they're like, darn, we'll kick it off of this step. And then it goes down to the next one. Oh, drat, and I feel like that's just what's going to keep happening. Eventually, no, there is no eventually. They'll just keep doing this in perpetuity. They have to do something more lasting that gets people to be more interested to actually do it in a legal way. Then there is so A Silent Voice was one of my favorite anime films of all time. One of my favorite films of all time, if I'm being honest. I love it. And the director, Naoko Yamada, and the studio Science Saru, is a new film that I've been eagerly waiting for all year for its North American release announcement, and we finally gotten it. It's coming out in on January 24th of 2025. And they released a trailer for The Colors Within, and I want to talk about it. So I'm going to kind of turn it down a little bit just because the music is crazy in this beginning part. Like, that sounds like copyright material to me, so I'm going to mute it. But the animation is amazing. Really looks like you can tell, like, it's from, like, if someone told you, like, oh yeah, this is from the person who did A Silent Voice, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can tell. I wouldn't say its style is directly like A Silent Voice, but once that idea is in your head, you're like, oh yeah, I can tell. Now this trailer, the funny thing about it, you guys know how I feel in general about anime trailers. The tone shifts like 5 times. Like before, like at the beginning, it's like this really, like I played the music, like you heard it, like listen to this again. Like it's so emotional. And then like you get like here, like 40 seconds in, and then like, it becomes this upbeat like band drama, thing. And then you get to the final thing where they're like, this is an awards film, with all the stuff here. And it gets all emotional again. So it's, anyway, take us on a journey. But I will say this. I'm very excited for it because I know who it's from. And I'm excited to see where it's going to go, if it's twists and turns. I don't know if this is I actually don't know at all if this is based on something. So let me look that up real quick. Is this based on anything? Produced by Science Saru. Production. Manga adaptation. Oh, the manga adaptation came after. Oh, okay, so this is an original film. Well, I don't think I've seen an original film from Naoko Yamada. Obviously, he did a silent voice, but I believe that one was from that was based on a manga already. Yeah, it's based on, a silent voice is based on a manga series. So I don't know, because he did K-On!, Tamako, Love Story, Sound Euphonium. Is this based on anything? Based on the Sound Euphonium novel series. Okay. What about this one? Is this based on anything? Sequel of... Okay, so that's a sequel. So maybe this is his first original thing? Okay, he did the Heiki story. Which I guess I didn't really enjoy the Heiki story all that much. I dropped it. So maybe I shouldn't be as that excited. But overall, I'm still excited just because he's the director of one of my favorite films of all time. And I guess I trust him to see where he's going to take me with this. The interest is there. Like, this is something I'd never heard of before. And this is apparently like a real condition. I forget what it's called, but it's a condition where people see other people as colors. What is the condition to see other people as colors? So this is synesthesia. She's foreign. So yeah, okay. A perceptual phenomenon which stimulates, in which stimulation of one sensory cognitive pathways lead to involuntary experiences of a secondary sensory or cognitive pathway. I guess, like, yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for that. I can't really, play the trailer just because. Go watch it. It's copyrighted. You guys know. You know why. I don't need to talk about this. And then My Hero Academia, one of the biggest anime of all time, one of the most iconic anime of all time, as its manga ended earlier this year. One of the other giants of manga that have ended this year. So we knew that the anime could only had so much longer because it can't go past the manga. I mean, I guess it can, but they probably won't. But considering that this is the week that the new movie came out, what is it, You're Next or something, is out, as well as the final season, or the latest season 7 just ended. They have officially announced that season 8 of My Hero Academia next year will be the final season, which means I have a lot of work to do because I stopped about halfway through season 6 and I just didn't, I really liked season 6. I was like, ooh, season 6 is like the best season since season 1. And then the hiatus came between the first half of season 6 and the second, and I never got back on it. But they announced it. Here's the announcement video where Toho was like, "It's the final season." Wow! It'll be interesting to see how this pans out in the anime, because we saw the reaction to the manga ending, and so I guess we'll find out. Something that surprised me was when they announced this. I was like, "Was My Hero Academia that close behind the manga?" I could have swore it was like I thought we had at least 2 more seasons, but I guess it's a lot closer. And so I guess we'll see the end of that next year, and that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. But like I said, I need to watch season 6 part 2 and season 7 to catch up. I do plan on seeing You're Next, because those movies are usually not really, they're canon, but they're not, they don't affect the show. So I'll probably go see it. Just because it's in theaters, and that'll be fun. But Anyways, guys, that does it for this episode of the Otaku Experience. Remember, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify. If you want to keep up with me, all of my social media is in the description, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.